Hard surface modeling in Blender isn't that difficult if you know what you're doing and how to use specific tools. Now in this video I'm gonna show you some really awesome tricks with HardOPS and box cutter that will help you get better at hard surface in Blender. Let's go. Now in this video we're gonna be designing something interesting with HardOPS and box cutter. The main focus of this video is to learn the tools. However, if you are new to Blender and you still don't know what the hell is going on, then I suggest you grab our Jumpstart Hard Surface in Blender course, which will teach you all the basics of Blender UI, modeling, rendering, etc. Right? And if you do use add-ons but you're still new to it, then I suggest you grab our Sci-Fi Terminal Design in Blender. It will teach you all the basics of the add-ons. And both courses are free and links are in the video description. So now here I'm going to grab an end gun and I'm going to cut it like this. But in order to bevel this, I need to start a little bit lower. Let me show you. So if I start here and bevel it, you see my bevel is going to encroach here. So you want to start lower and then cut it. I'm going to hold Control to release the angle lock and then press B for bevel, and I'm going to create maybe 6 segments is fine and cut it like this. Then we're going to grab this face here and go to Q and go to Mesh Tools and Selection to Boolean, and we're going to move the mouse a little bit in and cut it like this and space. Boom, right? And that's good. Now this is a little bit thin, so what we can do is select this one, Alt S, and make it a bit fatter, right? And then we need to run the end gun cut again. So I have a scroll here and expand it like this and apply scale, and this is much better. Cool. Now here on this cutter we're going to run a loop. So let's first apply this. So operations multiply, run a loop here and Control B that. And we're gonna run EM macro, right? So Alt EM macro and insert it a bit here like this. That's really cool. And here on top of this main shape, I'm gonna run Alt EM macro the other way. So here inside, right? Just to make a really interesting cut. And let's apply where the normals with Alt sharpen and some thin bevels. When you're creating mechanical shapes, you want to create thinner bevels, and they will give this more mechanical look to your design like this, right? Cool. Here we could have some chamfer as well. Just select the whole thing. There we go. Boom, right? Awesome. Okay. And now we can use the cutter that's inside, which is still live here, right, to shade solid. So go to settings and shift click on shade solid. It will create this kind of a shape inside here, which is interesting. And then we can expand on this. So create another chamfer, right? And in fact, hang on, no, let's extrude it. And then we're gonna cut it here. So extrude it a little bit more. There we go. And then clean mesh, so we can clean these loops here, and then we can cut it. So let's go to box, and in order to cut it along the edge here, you have to be in perspective mode, not in orthographic. And you can also go to Shift V and change from view to object and view align in ortho and switch to nearest edge. Yeah, then you're gonna be able to align this to the nearest edge in the rotation state, because we rotated, right? So perspective mode and press B for bevel and maybe 9 segments and just cut it. There we go. And then we're gonna grab this face here and do the same thing. So mesh tools and selection to boolean, scale it in and cut it. We don't have to cut it through, cut it like this, that's fine, which is awesome. And then we can create some interest again here. So, you know, for example, we could cut this from the bottom here like this. So perspective and cut this cutter here like that, right? And then have a scroll ever scroll that cutter and maybe cut it like this here as well. So in perspective mode, boom. So you're just slicing the cutter several times and the cutter of the cutter, right? To create some, you know, interesting stuff here. And that's cool. And then we can create, you know, we could mirror this across like this. We could mirror this across like this. So this element is on the bottom and the top, and apply weighted normals. And we have a bevel already. It's cool. Now here, let's recover this cutter very quickly, this one. And we're going to make sure that this cutter is in the middle. Let me see. That's not gonna work. Let me just lower this. Hang on. GZ, no, YY, that's not gonna work. Let's grab this face here, go to global, create custom orientation, and then we're gonna be able to move this down. I want this to be in the middle, so when I mirror this, right, and this cut is more or less in the middle, right? So then when I'm going to shift this to solid, so settings and shift solid, I can actually reuse this one, right? So let's just now operations multiply. Let's go here and apply the bevels, so visual geometry to mesh. Let's combine these two, right? Like this, and then I'll text to the other side with mesh machine. And let's just select all this, right? And Control I to invert selection, X, and delete faces. And then we're going to move this origin to this face, to these verts here. So Shift S with machine tools and object origin to face. Let's just remove this parenting, so Alt P, sorry, and clear transformation. We don't need the face here, but what we need is a cursor. So Shift S and move cursor to vert, and this will create the new cursor orientation, and then we can actually mirror using mesh machine with Alt X on this axis, and then we're gonna get a perfect circle. All we need to do now is just fill these faces and Shift Control click on sharpen to recalculate sharpen, sharp edges, and then we got a nice stuff here. Just press 3 to clean it with machine tools. We could also, let's just kind of make this bevel smaller and create a chamfer here. Select this one and move it outside a bit, right? And then create a smaller one here like this. It's gonna be really looking mechanical. Now you see that the gizmo is, the cursor is messed up. So what we need to do is move the cursor to origin, and then we're gonna move the cursor here. So move the cursor to selected, but we're gonna do it with Alt, so it doesn't actually copy the rotation. So watch, to origin and then Shift S, right, and hold Alt and to select it, and the cursor is gonna stay. Now the mirror is still messed up, so we're gonna move the origin to cursor. So origin to cursor, and now it should be fine. Boom, mirror. This is a bit of a trickery with cursor and origin, yeah. Remember the origin has an orientation as well. You just can't bloody see it, and this is why sometimes it's a bit confusing. So now we're gonna grab this one here, and we're going to Altium macro this a bit like this, and we're gonna go to local view, and let's just grab this and this, I suppose. Let me see that. Yeah, one more here. Okay, and then E and extrude it. Let's see if it's working. Then we can actually remove these. So dissolve edges and also clean mesh. And this should work more or less. You have a problem with bevels here with Blender, but what we can do is apply procedural bevels, so we don't have to worry about it. Let's apply EM macro here. Actually, probably having these edges here is gonna be beneficial. So let's bring them back. J to connect it, J to connect it in Alt X, and this should fix the shading. There you go. Then what we can do later on, right? We can just simply apply procedural bevels. So look, watch this. Go to Mats with Material Works. Our new add-on, by the way, got a new update with Edgeware. So you can do this and then just apply bevel shader and, you know, Bob Jonkel, you don't have to worry about, you know, issues in Blender. So just make it a little bit bigger, boom, and you got impossible bevel running around here, see what I mean? And no one knows. So how, you know, how you did it. Now we're going to rotate this a little bit, holding control so it snaps. Then we're gonna activate this snapping dots here, go toward the perspective view and go to circle, and we're gonna run an edge here so we can have some dots. Boom, there's a dot. Draw this, cut, sharpen this, click, alt click, and chamfer this, and alt text to the other side, and Bob's your uncle. And now we're going to grab this thing in the middle. So control click a curve extract, and we're going to close this with a face, alt text to the other side. Now we're going to move origin to this one, so to geometry, and we're gonna scale this a little bit like that, and scale this on X right here, and run the bevel on this one, and boom, right? And we got something interesting in here. Awesome. And so here we're gonna grab this face in Q and control curve extract, so we can have this face here as a separate object. We're gonna remove all the booleans. In fact, remove all the modifiers. Move it here on y-axis like this. Move it in on X, right? Apply scale. Grab these two verts. There are two verts in here, and Shift Control B to create a bevel. Press C to clamp it, right? And then we're going to simply extrude it across, and you know, run the mirror, preferably across this one. There we go. And we're gonna slice it from the top, right? So let's just click here, and to align to this face, you go to Q, Mesh Tools, and Align View, and then click, right? And you align here, and you're gonna grab this one, and let's just cut it, right? So let's just cut it like this, B, and whoa. One more time, B, and E. Interesting. Let me just change it to this boolean to exact. There we go. And we're good to go. So we got this going on, and this one could be actually larger here. So watch this. You can grab this one, Q, Shift Curve Extract outside, make it larger. So let's move origin to geometry, make it larger, right, like this. And, you know, drop it in here like that. And we could actually, this actually could be interesting. Sharpen, lower the bevel a little bit, and GX, do something like this. Why not? Mirror to the other side. There we go. And this is quite interesting. This should be beveled. Boom. And then we could sharpen this and, you know, apply chamfer here. So let's just operation smart apply. Click, alt click, and chamfer this. If you can't do it, press 3 to clean it. There's some beef in here, so let's just merge all these in the middle by pressing Shift 1. And here too, Shift 1. And then we're gonna run Shift Control click on sharpen. And we still can't bevel this. Hang on, what the hell is going on? Oh yeah. Click, alt click, there we go. This should be working now. Perfect. And we could have the same thing here. So, you know, curve extract, the clamp overlap is already in. You need to always clean with machine tools. Press 3 because you're gonna have double verts here on the clamp overlap area. So, you know, clean that. We could run another circle here. So just run an edge so we can have a reference. Boom, right, cut. Apply this and click, alt click, and chamfer. Right, things are starting to become interesting, yeah. So we got this. This could be a little bit shorter. So what we could do is go to occlude with machine tools, select everything here, and then GUI, and literally drag it down here to make it shorter. We're still in this custom orientation, so that's helpful. And here we could have some, additional cuts just for fun. So let's go to a perspective. We're still in the nearest edge cut. Let's press a B for bevel. And now we're gonna have to move this a little bit to find a spot where, there's least amount of problems. Maybe this will do. And then just apply this. Hopefully it's in the middle, more or less. Then we just have to fix it. Yeah, just, fix this shit. And what other problems we have here? This one is a little bit too close. So, we could just GG and move it a little bit further away from this bevel area. Same here. We could just fix this a bit. So GG and move it down. So let's just move origin to geo and move it to the other side. That didn't work. So move cursor origin here to edge and then Alt X, boom. And we sort it, right? There's a parenting here, so let's remove it, Alt P, clear parenting, done. So you see very quickly you can create some really interesting designs with HardOPS and box cutter. You don't need to try too hard. Let me see this one. Need to apply this operations multiply and then click Alt click and chamfer. It's gonna look a bit better. There you go. This one could have some cuts as well on sides, because why not? And maybe not as deep. GY and move it in here. There we go. And then move it to the other side. So copy that and peachy. Then we could recover this and settings and shade solid. And we got this. It's a bit too long. So GG, move it in here and mirror to the other side, right? And boom, and we could actually make it a bit smaller. So Shift S and two geometries can adjust a little bit. So you got this kind of an opening here. Could be slightly less beveled. So I could select this one and bevel it a little bit less. Yeah, there we go. I think the shape got messed up in here a little bit, although, oh yeah, we need to cut this one here. Okay, so select this one, Q, mesh tools, align view, click, and we're going to slice this here. And let's see how we're doing. We're doing pretty good. GX, move it in, there we go. And then just simply sharpen this, boom, right? And that's quite interesting. We could have some, I don't know, holes in here, whatnot. So just press G and, eyeball this and then sharpen, click, Alt, click. And now this bevel is going to be super huge. So we could do here, we could use step. Step is something that will allow you to run two bevels on the mesh. So watch, if I'm going to use dots to make this in the middle, G, Y, or X, whatever, and cut it. Now I got two bevels to control this with, right? Bevel on the on this small element here, and the other one when I press Q here. So this is really fantastic. Just make sure that you're not gonna apply this, because if you apply this now, one of these bevels gonna get applied. So you're gonna have a bad day. Yeah. So if you wanna, for example, get a chamfer in here, it's really easy. So here what you could do, you could bevel this. So flip the face, Alt and flip, and then Control B. Like this, right? And you're good to go. And then you could technically let me see if you can actually play with this bevel. So it's this one, right? It's this one here. So let's see if we can fix the shading here, boom, and we're good to go. Technically we could do it on the same side, on the other side, but this will do. So there you go. Very quickly give something really complex here, and I think we've learned quite a few interesting tools. Shift curve extract, right? And then we could mirror this to the other side like this, boom. Then apply this, sharpen, and then we could combine this, right? So let's grab both and operations multiply, and then simply bridge this together, right? So you could just go loop tools and bridge, and then Alt X to the other side, and then operations clean mesh. And you're good to go, right? And you got this, you see. And if this is not tight enough, we could go to occlude, select the bottom part, and then G, X, or Z, and tighten this here like that, right? I don't think this is making any sense, so I might actually remove this. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Here we could have some kind of maybe circular opening, you know, like a cut, whatever. So J and E, and click, and apply this, and then, you know, something like this. There we go. And this will do. Cool. Then we're gonna have some cuts in here as well, just for fun. So, you know, in perspective mode, and run some cuts here. Maybe from this side. We have to run it from the side of the mare. What the hell? Hang on. Let me just apply it. There we go. Right, just to add some more interest here. Okay, cool. And there you go. And then we could go with some mats, yeah? So let's go to Material Works. Let's have some fun. So this could be coated titanium because reasons, and make it a little bit brighter, but you know, let's not go crazy, and add some edgeware. And let me see. Let's just bump normal to 10. Make it smaller and not as strong. Cool, and then add another edgeware. Oh, this one is actually pretty sweet. And then another edgeware. Let's maybe go with rust. There we go, something like this. Maybe add some dust to it. It is too much, I think. And let's fix this edgeware here, shall we? So let's increase samples and make it a bit wider. There we go. And maybe make it a bit darker, so the edgeware, I mean. And then brighten it up a bit. There we go. That's pretty cool. And then we can copy this thing to other elements, like this one, for example. This titanium could be a little bit darker, to be honest. Something like this, maybe. And then we can copy that. And this could be the same here. This could be a little bit brighter too. Dark, but not as dark. And this one could be the same too, to be honest. Yeah, that'll do, that's fine. And we do need some edgeware here as well, so, you know, some edgeware here. And maybe similar effect here. Cool, and maybe some rust. There you go. Boom. This one kind of doesn't lay with me, to be honest. Let me just see if I can fix this. So that's it for the video. Hopefully you picked up some cool tricks, and if you want to learn more about, you know, HardOPS and box cutter, grab the terminal course. And if you're still new to Blender and you have no idea what just happened on the screen, then you probably should look into our free jumpstart course, which will teach you everything you need to know about Blender basics and, you know, how to model, how to texture, and how to deal with all these crazy tools in Blender. Let me just increase the scale here. There we go, that's better. Maybe we can make it brighter, but not as bright. That's interesting. Camera, let's go 135. Lock to view, and there you go, and we have a render. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.